National Congress, in its manifesto for the Lok Sabha Elections 2024, proposes significant steps towards wealth redistribution in India. The key component of this plan is the commitment to conduct a detailed financial and institutional survey to ascertain the distribution of wealth across the country. The survey is intended to map the existing disparities in wealth among different segments of the population. The Congress Party emphasizes that the wealth distribution survey and caste census are designed to ensure fair representation and equitable distribution of resources among all the communities. To understand how inequality in India is stark, we need to take a look at some figures to understand how inequality is a serious issue in our country. Income and wealth inequality in India are starkly highlighted by several recent statistics and studies. The top 10% of India's population holds a substantial 77% of the total national wealth, with the richest 1% owning an even more concentrated 53% of the country's wealth. Now, this leaves the poorer half of the population with just 4.1% of the national wealth. Now, income distribution figures further illustrate these disparities. The top 10% and top 1% of the population control 57% and 22% of the total national income, while the bottom 50% holds only 13%. Now, this has resulted in significant burdens for the poorer sections of society, including a disproportionate share of the tax burden from the goods and service taxes, that is GST, and high healthcare costs that push approximately 63 million people into poverty each year. Oxfam International, one of the global organizations that fights inequality to end poverty and injustice, paints a disturbing picture for India about the wealth creation. The billionaires' fortunes have increased almost tenfold over a decade. Additionally, the number of billionaires in India has grown significantly from just 9 in 2000 to 119 by 2022. Now, despite some pockets of positive growth among lower decile groups in terms of asset accumulation, the overall picture remains one of severe and increasing inequality, highlighting the need for focused interventions and policies aimed at redressing these disparities. So, how do we address such stark inequality in our country? Now, addressing inequality in India requires a multifaceted approach that encompasses economic reforms, educational improvements, healthcare access, and robust legal frameworks to ensure social justice. For example, we can emphasize more on promoting inclusive growth, enhancing social safety nets, increasing access to quality education, skill development programs, etc. But one idea that is doing the rounds is about the inheritance tax. Sam Pitroda, who is credited for India's telecommunications and technology revolution of the 1980s and is the advisor to the Congress, came up with an interesting idea of inheritance tax. He remarked, in America, there's an inheritance tax. If one has $100 million worth of wealth and when he dies, he can only transfer probably 45% to his children. 55% is grabbed by the government. That's an interesting law. It says you in your generation made wealth and you are living now. You must leave your wealth for the public, not all of it, half of it, which sounds fair. In India, we don't have that. If somebody is worth 10 billion and he dies, his children get 10 billion and the public gets nothing. So these are the kinds of issues people will have to debate and discuss. Such ideas require cooperation between the government, private sector, civil society, international organizations to be successful. Implementing them systematically and continuously evaluating their impact is crucial for making meaningful progress towards reducing inequality in India. For more such interesting videos, stay tuned to Narayana.